Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Othercide. We are going to fight the fourth boss, the child. We're gonna fight him very soon. Okay.
Do not falter. For the child we fight today, we may embrace tomorrow.
Okay, so the child boss battle. Now, you're allowed to bring 4 daughters for this boss battle. I would recommend 1 Blade Master, 2 Soul Slinger, and 1 Shield Bearer. But you can also bring 2 Shield Bearer, it's up to you. Let's go to our Inner Void. And you can also bring the Scythe Dancer, it's up to you. But, I don't know. The Scythe Dancer is sort of useful for this particular boss battle, but she has Dance of Binding, which is a more powerful interruption. But it also only has a range of 7, so as usual, we bring our strongest Blade Master, in this case Chris. So let's go through her memories and skill, and we'll look at her stats a bit later. But so she has Slash. I would just increase the damage of Slash. If you have something that does extra damage, more than 20%, feel free to put it on. You know, I just couldn't be bothered to put anything more than that because I don't really need it. Imbued Blade, I just increase crit chance. I do have something better, but I won't be using much Imbued Blade in this particular boss battle. Lightning Strike. Now, I have Timeline Delay. This is very important because Timeline Delay is very useful against a child, while immobilizing target is less useful because the child can teleport. So immobilizing him isn't very useful. It is useful. He can still move a little bit. His movement range, unlike other bosses, is very small. He has very small movement range, so immobilizing him isn't that useful. But initiative delay is better because he doesn't have very strong resistance to initiative delay. He does have some, but not extremely strong resistance to initiative delay. However, in his final form, he cannot be delayed. Just remember. Sidestep, I have Disquiet. Disquiet gives me 400 armor that lasts for 30 initiative units. This is very important. With 400 armor, majority of the attack from the child will do very little damage. The child has a range attack called Misery, I think. And this amount of armor is enough to resist the damage. So, and also the 400 armor, you obtain it from defeating the first boss, I think. You get Disquiet. And a Menacing Stance. Menacing Stance is important to dish out high damage. I just increase the damage of Menacing Stance. It's just there to deal out extra damage. You need that. Now, the child will teleport each time he undergoes Transfiguration, so you can't continue. You can't continuously damage him. You know, he will teleport away. But it's still useful from time to time. In terms of stat, Chris has a lot of AP. Now, the amount of AP depends on what traits you get. So, yeah, it's kind of luck-based. Sometimes at this stage I have 120 AP. Sometimes I have 130. Rarely I have 140 AP. She does have a lot of resistance to initiative push. A decent amount of dodge. A very high crit chance and decent amount of crit damage. Now, she has a lot of different traits that increases AP, damage against corrupt creatures, resistance, critical damage, veteran. I don't know how much AP exactly you can get, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if you can get to 150 AP. She also has Prodigy, which is very powerful by increasing crit chance. Okay. So, the second person we are going to bring is our Shield Bearer. So, we have a couple of different Shield Bearers, but we will bring our highest level Shield Bearer, which is Carla. Now, it probably is a good idea to heal her, although it's absolutely not necessary. I can also bring Rebecca. It just, it depends. Likely, I'm just gonna bring Rebecca rather than Carla, because Carla has less health. You need a Shield Bearer with quite a lot of health. So, but Carla does have shield charge, which is pretty important. I might just heal her with someone like a Jill. I'm not sure yet. Okay. I can also heal someone else with her as well. I'll see. Okay, so likely we're gonna be using Carla rather than Rebecca, but I just go through Carla's skill lunge. I just increase the damage of lunge. You can also reduce armor, but the child doesn't have a lot of armor, so you just increase damage of that. Slam, I have initiative delay. Now, slam with additional initiative delay, you can push the child back further and further up the timeline, so it's something pretty obvious. Blacksmith's Grace with additional armor buff, so she can tank. I have Epicenter, which gives 600 armor that lasts for 30 initiative units. So every time she gets hit, she will gain an additional 600 armor. So very useful. Saving Grace. I just have movement reduction in Saving Grace, but it's really not that important. You could just increase the damage of Saving Grace. I'm not sure why I had movement reduction. I probably would just increase the damage of the skill. Something like that. So, or I could just immobilize enemy target. It's just something that I had, so I just put it on. So, now, shield charge. Now shield charge is very important. You increase the initiative delay, so you can shield charge people and slam them to push them really, really further back in the timeline. You look at her stat, she has 120 AP, which is very important because she can shield charge and slam people. So she can use shield charge and then use slam. So that's very important. And shield charge has extra 15 initiative delay, slam has extra 20 initiative delay. Both them delays for 25 and 20 initiative units. So you can push enemies completely back in the timeline without even going into burst. Yeah, that's her stat. So these are her traits. She doesn't have as much traits as Chris. I may consider bringing Rebecca. It's really up to... Rebecca has sort of the same layout. Armor, except it has armor reduction rather than damage, and she doesn't have shield charge. But she's just a little bit weaker. But I don't have to heal her. Now, the other two units are my soul slingers, okay? So, Claire, so we can either bring Claire, Jill, or Melody. It's one of those things. Now, the difference between our three soul slinger is one has Spirit Haste, Spirit Burst, the other one has Protective Force and Spirit Burst, and the other one has Melody, which is Spirit Haste and Detonating Shot. So Melody definitely comes with us. I'm not sure whether I'll bring Jill or Claire. Now, there's advantage and disadvantage of each. Protective Force can push enemies back, while she can buff everybody up the timeline. So what I was thinking is to bring Jill and Melody. So these two, and forget about Claire. Claire can be used for other things. Now, we just go through Melody. Have a look. The normal shot, simply increasing damage. Now, because the shot doesn't do a lot of damage, it's better to increase a numerical value rather than a percentage value. Interception shot, just increasing crit chance. There are various other things I can put on them. I don't need interception shot to do a lot of damage. I only need it to intercept, cancel enemy attacks. Shadow rounds, reduce enemy armor. Spirit Haste, increasing how the target act 15 initiative units sooner, so the allies can act 15 initiative units faster. Very useful, so I can act 35 initiative units sooner. I don't worry about going into burst. Detonating Shot with initiative delay. Because Detonating Shot's an AoE attack, and it can hit multiple targets, it can potentially delay multiple targets for multiple initiative units. For 15 initiative units. And there's also Jill. which has the regular shot. Again, increases the damage. Interception rounds, shadow rounds, protective force. So, sorry, spirit burst. So people act 15 initiative units sooner, and protected force, which immobilizes enemy targets. Now, if I was to use Kala, I need to think about someone to sacrifice. The person where I can sacrifice could be Claire. Could also be other units such as now sacrificing Claire is a bit of a waste because she doesn't she doesn't get a heal. So what I would do is I will sacrifice Jill, because that's the only character that I think is worth it. Now I will lose all the memory, so I will re-gear Jill. I'll put a new set of memories on her. Okay, so now I'm going to resurrect Jill by using one of my resurrection tokens.
Remember their courage.
So Jill will lose some XP, but I don't really care. Alright. So this one does 240 damage 3 times. Now, here I just want to increase damage, and I want to increase a numerical amount. But I don't have a numerical amount increase, so I could shred armor, immobilize enemy target, or I can go increase the damage of a target skill by 60%. Now this is the best. The reason for that is it is a higher percentage, so it's better to have a numerical value. But if you don't have something numerical, it's better to increase the damage of the skill by a very high percentage, such as 60%. Now, there's another choice, is increasing critical chance. It's up to you. I think increasing damage is better. Critical chance, I've tried it. They don't really help that much. Because she only had, even she hits critical all the time, it's not that useful. And then interception rounds. Interception rounds are just want to increase damage. Alternatively, you can immobilize the enemy. You can also use target immobilizing. It's actually really useful to immobilize the enemy so they can't move. Now, it's not really necessary. I will just simply increase the damage. Another thing you can do is increasing armor, which isn't that useful because you won't use interception rounds that often. I would simply increase the damage, like use something like this, or you can increase the percentage damage, which I don't really have it here. I only have something that increases crit damage, so I will probably just put something like this because I have plenty of these. Shadow rounds, I would probably reduce armor. It's pretty useful at mitigating armor, but it's also good to increase the critical chance of shadow rounds as well, so they can crit for very, very high damage. I don't have much that increases crit chance. I only have this one, so I'll just increase the crit chance. Now, for shadow rounds, you can simply increase the damage, like by a percentage value, because it does a lot of damage anyway. Increasing crit chance is useful because it can hit for very high damage. Another possibility is to reduce armor. So there are multiple choices for this. Protective force, I want to immobilize the enemy for 50 initiative units. Because what protective force does is it pushes the enemies away. And because I push enemies away, they are not able to move back because they're immobilized. So it pushes enemies away and immobilizes them so they can't come next to you. And it does it for 50 initiative units. Now, the other possibility is what you can do here is you can use this one. Reduce target movement by 50 initiative unit. Reduce the target movement by 50% for 100 initiative units. This can also be used instead of immobilizing the target. Now this one reduces their movement, but for longer initiative units. So it's 100 initiative units, and this will stack. So for example, if you hit the enemy once, their movement will be reduced by 50%. You hit it again, their movement will be reduced by 75% for 100 initiative units. But I much prefer just immobilizing the target so they can't move. And Spirit Burst is simple. So there's two choices. The target act 15 initiative units sooner. Alternatively, you can use resistance to initiative delay. Like this one, Distort. Increase the target resistance to initiative delay by 100% for 90 initiative units. This is really useful against the final boss. But for the moment, I'm just going to go 15 initiative units sooner because I'm running out of Vitae. And I find that's a bit more useful. Check out the traits for Jill, 110 AP, etc. And she has different traits, but nothing special. She does have leader, so that's kind of useful. And that's the traits for Melody. Okay, so the 4 units will bring Chris, Carla, Jill, and Melody. Okay, so these are the couple of these are the units I will bring, and yeah, these are the 4 daughters that I will bring. I could bring Rebecca, but I'm not going to do that. I feel like that the team I have is better. So we bring Chris first. Then we bring, I think Carla, Jill, and Melody goes last. Okay, so these are the 4 daughters we will bring. Okay, and that's it. Let's get started. Just 1 second. Just give me a second. Okay, so these are the 4 daughters I will bring: Chris, Carla, Jill, and Melody. So one Blade Master to dish out high damage, 1 Shield Bearer, 2 Soul Slingers. Now you can also have 2 Soul Slingers and 2 Shield Bearers to do this boss battle, but a Blade Master will be better because it just dishes out more damage. Alternatively, you can have 2 Shield Bearers and 1 Soul Slinger and 1 Blade Master. Blade Master is to dish out damage, and the reason why you need 2 Soul Slinger and 1 Shield Bearer is interception skills. For the boss, interruption skills are very important. It's very useful because all of the boss's attack can be interrupted by Interception Rounds or Saving Grace. Saving Grace, to some degree, is more superior to Interception Rounds. Dancer Binding is even better, but it only has a range of 7. The boss can teleport a little bit far away, and Dancer Binding doesn't work. Saving Grace is the most superior interruption because as long as the ally is within 7 range, it can interrupt, regardless how far the enemy is away. The enemy could be halfway across the map. It doesn't matter. Saving Grace is the best interruption skill. But I like the Soul Slinger because they can attack from range, while Shield Bearers have to attack from melee. The child teleports around, and also the child can teleport away. So range characters better for this particular boss battle. Now, it's very important that you bring characters with interruption skill or attack cancellation. Interruption skill is how you win this particular boss battle. It's very important. And let's get started. So you need at least 3 characters with interruption skills or attack cancellation. So either Shield Bearer, Soul Slinger, or the Scythe Dancer. The Scythe Dancer has Dancer Binding, which is a more powerful interruption because it can self-interrupt and it can also interrupt movement skills.
You thought you could hurt me?
Okay, so Chris needs to go first because Chris spawns at the end.
In love, left him bereft in this cave.
Okay, the child is very angry. Okay, let's have a look quickly that Chris spawns right at the end. This is important because Chris is the person who has a skill called sidestep, and she can quickly move up. So having her go first and right at the end is very important, because you want to make sure your Blade Master with sidestep is the first one to go. Okay? So the order where you place the daughter is important. Chris or the Blade Master with sidestep goes first. There's another reason for it as well. So first, by moving our daughters up, and we don't need to worry about the child. You will quickly notice the child has very little movement range. He can only move really 2 tiles straight and 1 tile diagonal. So he's not very dangerous. He can't move a long distance away, but he has ability to teleport. Okay? So let's have a look. His skill. He has Shriek, which deals up to 1200 damage to a single target in range. Now, this is very dangerous because it does a lot of damage. Misery is the attack that you need to worry about, because Misery can hit from range away. It deals up to 500 damage to the furthest daughter in range and slows her by 50% for 15 initiative units. So not only it damages you, it slows you, and it targets the furthest daughter away. In this case, the furthest daughter away is Chris. Okay? Why do I put Chris the furthest away? Because Chris has sidestep and a lot of AP. She can quickly move up. First, second, sidestepping with her gives her 400 armor. Third, she goes last on the timeline. So her sidestep of 400 armor buff for 30 initiative units will not run out when the child takes her turn. So 3 important things. Okay, so that's why. When I have the 400 armor buff on the sidestep, Misery will do very little damage. Ray of Agony, which is a delayed attack and does a ton of damage, but easily avoided. Severe Pain. He changes phase after losing 25% HP and resets initiative to 0 and teleports at least 8 tiles away. So he can teleport. Now the position where he teleports is unknown. So he can teleport to different positions. We have no idea where he goes. He could go here. He could go here. It's random. So you need to be careful. Okay? And also it sets his initiative to 0. Now because it teleports him away, stuff like Menacing Stance is less useful because he can teleport outside of your melee range, so your reactionary skills becomes less useful. So just remember that. He changes phase after losing 25% HP. Now, because this game is very deceptive in when the bosses change phase, you have to actually beat this boss first to understand. He changes phase around 36,000 to 37,000 HP. From anyone who's half good in math knows that more than 25% of your HP, 25% of 50,000, you can do some number crunching to figure out. It's around 12,500 damage. So it's around the 37,000 mark, but it's not exact. So just be careful. So because this game is a bit deceptive in the percentage that it talks about. Okay. And now you can have a look at the stat. It has critical damage 0% and delay resistance to 40%. So he doesn't have a high chance of critical damage, but he has resistance to initiative delay only 40%. So he doesn't have a lot of resistance to initiative delay, and this is what I talked about before. The child is not resistant to initiative delay, not by a lot, but he is resistant to target immobilizing skills or target immobilizing memories. Why? Because he can teleport. Okay. Alright, so first we move our Soul Sling up, finish her turn, then we just pretty much move everybody up and make sure Chris is the furthest daughter away. Now, because he doesn't have a lot of movement range, it doesn't really matter. We can move pretty close to him. He won't be able to get to us with any melee attacks because we're not... So he will use his melee attack, which is called Shriek. When you move into his melee range. So if I will move my target daughters here or here, he will attack me with it. Now, I can easily tank that with Blacksmith's Grace. So, just letting you know. So, I'll teleport to here with Sidestep. Now, I'll make sure I'm the furthest daughter away. Now, a couple of things is, it's the furthest daughter away from him. So, if you had daughters that are diagonal, obviously, they can be further away than compared to daughters in a straight line. A couple of other things is that Misery will become more powerful later on. I'll show you. Okay, see, Misery does very low damage. Why? Because of 400 armor buff. Every time I teleport, use Sidestep. Okay. Here is simple. We just move up and start attacking him. We need to deal damage. If we don't deal damage, we'll never be able to kill the boss. Okay? And just be careful and to stay outside of his melee range. Always check. Detonating shot, boom. Okay? See, it delays him by a lot. He's not resistant to initiative delay. He can be easily delayed. And you can also, if you're worried, you can also push him away with Protective Force as well. It's actually very useful, but I'm not going to do it here. I'm just going to use a regular attack. I'll move up a bit. And then we're going to use Shield Charge from Carla to delay him. See, he's delayed by a lot. Then we're going to slam him back further. So the child is very easily defeated by initiative delay skills and by interruption skills. You can constantly interrupt him. Actually, it's very easy to interrupt his attack. So I want to move Chris up a bit. To deal out high damage later. Okay? So again, we're gonna delay him. Just watch out his HP. Don't go below 37,000. We're just gonna deal out as much damage as possible. Okay, simple. Just continue to deal out damage with our ranged characters. Ranged characters are very useful because you can attack him from range and you won't be able to get in his melee range. My bad, sorry. I just pulled out my headphone. Okay, hold on. Alright, we'll just end her turn. And we'll just keep slamming him back the timeline so he can't act. See? He's not able to act. Okay, then we get out his melee range. Now we're using Saving Grace, okay? I'll show you why later. Okay, so the child's HP is very low, okay, but we don't do anything yet. We will teleport away a little bit. We will not attack him yet. Okay, so now we are going to use Detonating Shot. Okay, so he will now teleport away. Okay. Now, we are going to move ourselves here, okay? Why? You can see, okay, couple of things to note. He now changed phases. His initiative is set to 0. He's going to use an AoE attack first. It's not going to touch any of our character, so where he teleports depends. So we don't need any interception skill. However, he does have an attack called Misery. Now he has new attacks, Rays of Agony and Torrent of Agony as well. And he has Mad Pain, which he changes phase after losing 50% HP. It's around the 25,000 mark. Okay? It's around that 25,000. But he still has Misery, which he can attack. So Misery is going to, if I was to move here, Misery is going to attack and hit Chris. Now, I have Saving Grace, so Carla will interrupt this attack and helps Chris. Now, the child is not in any melee range against me, so I wouldn't get hit by any of his melee attack. I wouldn't get hit by his AoE attack, so I don't need Interception Shot. However, if I'm going to get hit by any of his AoE attack, or I'm in melee range, depends on where he teleports to, I may need Interception Shot. In this case, I don't need it, because Saving Grace would be able to interrupt his range attack, which is called Misery. Okay, so I'm going to just end my turn. That's it. Okay. He does the AoE attack, he misses. Now I interrupt with Saving Grace. So it doesn't matter how far the enemy is away, it still interrupts him. Okay, see, he teleports with a Torrent of Agony. Now, I just want to run out of his AoE radius, okay? And I'll probably use Shadow Rounds because I can deal up extra damage. Alright, and with Carla, I'm going to delay him again with Shield Charge. Okay, and I'm going to move outside his AoE range. And I'm not going to use any particular skills, like any interruption skills. Not yet, anyway. Again, I'm going to delay him. Alright. Just check, and his HP is... Remember, it's around 25,000. Just remember that. Okay. I'm at position where I can do a backstab if I need to, but not now. Again, I'm going to just run out and then use Detonating Shot. Push him back. Okay. So I want to deal extra damage. Now it's around 30,000, so I need to make a decision here. Whether I'm going to, what I'm going to do here. And the decision is very simple. I am going to use Interception Shot. So I'm gonna spam Interruption now, or Interruption skills. For obvious reasons, I'm gonna cause him to lose his health, and again, I'm going to spam Shadow Rounds. Okay. I'm gonna cause him to change phase. Okay, so that's my point here. I'm gonna cause him to change phase. I'm gonna attack him with Carla and cause him to change phase. I don't need to delay him because it's not that necessary. Okay, he's gonna change phase. He's gonna teleport away. Now I need to check, is his AoE attack able to hit me? No. Is he going to be able to hit me with any melee attacks? No. He now has Dreadful Shriek. Okay, see, his attack changes. So his melee attack now becomes a melee attack which can do AoE damage. His Dreadful Misery can now do AoE damage as well. His Torrent of Agony. So the child teleports back into the fight and charges a powerful ray towards the bottom of the map. Deals up to for 40 initiative units. He also have Reign of Agony and Insane Pain. Now Insane Pain procs around, I think around 12 or 13,000. I can't remember exactly, but 75% of HP is around 12 to 13,000. So that's when he changes phase again. But his Misery, which is a single target, becomes an AoE target. Okay, and I can't get hit by his melee attack. I also cannot be hit by his AoE attack. So I'm not going to use Saving Grace. It's not necessary. I'm just going to move here. Now Melody is able to interrupt his Dreadful Misery with Interception Rounds. So I'm just going to end the turn. And if he's going to attack me, I can then intercept. See? I can intercept his Dreadful Misery. And Joe would do more damage. Okay, he now has Rays of Agony. Okay. So I'm going to then attack him by first delaying his Rays of Agony. But I need to be careful because his health procs around, like I think around 12,000. So just need to be a little bit careful. And I'm just going to an area that his Rays of Agony isn't going to hit me. Then I go, okay. So now his Rays of Agony occurs at 30. So it will hit Joe before. But I have Detonating Shot. So I'm going to hit him with Detonating Shot. Boom. And it's going to delay him. And it's going to do a ton of damage. Okay. So he now has more resistance to delay. Okay. You check his stat. He now has 90% resistance to delay. So as the child changes phase, he could become stronger and stronger. He has more stronger attacks. He has more resistance to initiative delay. So I'm going to Spirit Haste Joe. And the reason I need to Spirit Haste Joe is very simple. Joe then can get out his AoE attack. Now, okay. So I'm inside his melee range with Joe. So I'm going to just move out a bit. Okay, so he can't attack, he can't hit me with any of his melee attack except with Chris. So I'm going to Spirit Burst Chris. Just make sure Chris goes before. And again, I'm going to use Shadow Rounds. And then I'm going to use Interception Rounds. Okay. Now, what I want to do with Chris here is simple. Just to delay him. Okay? But I don't want him to proc. Okay? So he's got a... So if I hit him again, he's going to proc. So I'm just going to move away. Okay? I'm just going to simply move away. It's simple as that. Okay? I'm going to move away. Alright? And I'm going to double check all my characters outside of his AoE and outside of his melee range. So he's going to do his AoE attack. It's going to hit nobody. And it's not going to proc Interception Shot. That's for later, okay? So now I'm going to shield charge him. And I'm going to delay him more. He, remember, has very high resistance to delay. He now has insane pain. Okay, alright, this is his final stage. It is the most dangerous stage. He now has Dreadful Shriek, Dreadful Misery, Instant Hurt. Okay, so he has the AoE attack which he had before. I think it's called Torrent of Agony. He has that attack, but he can use it as an instant action attack. Now, this attack does damage in a straight line, which he will miss, and damage in a diagonal, okay? So, he will probably miss with that attack, but he also has Rain of Agony and Cross of Agony. So, more AoE attacks, more powerful. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Saving Grace. It's simple. Just in case I'm going to get hit by some crazy attack, I ain't gonna take the chances. See, he has an instant hurt attack, much like what the AoE attack he had before. Alright, see, he teleports outside the range of Shadow Rounds. Now, this is a final AoE attack. Now, it's different to Judgment. It can be easily intercepted, but you just need to be careful. It occurs at 40 initiative units, so Cross of Agony. So what I'm going to do here is simple. Moving and attack. Now, the child isn't as difficult as the maid, because really he doesn't have attacks that are very dangerous. He doesn't have interception skills. He's not resistant to initiative delay, at least in the beginning. Okay, so now this is final transfiguration. He has no more transfigurations from now on. So you just need to deal as much damage as possible. And he has now 100% resistance to delay. So in the beginning he has 40%, now he has 100% resistance to initiative delay. So he's gonna be able to resist being delayed. Okay, so here we're just gonna have to deal out as much damage as possible. So I want Chris to get the kill, so I'm going to deal as much damage as possible. So now it's going to go for burst, because now it is the end. Okay, I could stack shadow rounds, but I'm not going to do that because I'm able to deal out enough damage, so it is okay. Alright, so that's it. Alright, Jill. Now, you can actually push enemies away with Protective Force if you want to. You can push him away actually with Protective Force. I'm not going to do that. I'm just gonna shoot him and go into burst if I have to. Alright, so I'm gonna put myself here, I think. No, here, I think. Where is his back? So I'm gonna go for a backstab with Chris. So, no, I'm just gonna shoot her. Shoot him. So here I just want to do as much damage as possible. I don't really need to do any more damage, so I'm just going to use Spirit Burst. So Carla can add, just in case I mess up something. Then I'll use Shield Charge. Okay, now Chris is gonna go for the kill. So this is a final transfiguration. So all I have to do is go behind his back. And then go for the kill. And that's it. GG. So you can see how much damage it does. I didn't even need to use Menacing Stance. I could have used it, but it's not necessary. So because this is the final part, it is okay to go into burst. You don't need to worry too much. Now, the child is a reasonably easy boss battle. All you have to do is have a lot of interception skills, and you need to use it when depending on the situation. And you should always, if you know that you're going to make him change phase, you should always have one interception rounds. You should always have one interception skill activated before you make his phase change. In addition to that, you should change phase with a character that has another interception skill. So just in case you need it, you can use it. And that's it. It does have a pretty awesome music though. And if you look around the map, just before we finish, if you look around the map, it looks so weird, like with this guy's head, etc. Anyway, that's it. GG. We won. With a backstab as well.
More forgotten pain.
I'm just trying to find the part of my headphone which fell out. Alright, GG. So 1 Blade Master, 1 Shield Bearer, and 2 Soul Slinger. Generally an easy battle, not too difficult, and we won. GG. We don't need to say that, we've seen this before. Alright, just give me a second.
We must venture into darkness to shed light on an innocent soul.
Alright, give me 1 second. Alright, hopefully that explanation for that strategy was good enough. Anyway, so we have a ritual mission and we have a survival mission. Yeah. We'll think about what to do later. Okay, anyway, thanks all for watching. I do appreciate the view. I think that's it for today. I may come back again for another stream. But that's it for today, because fighting that boss took a lot out of me. So anyway, we'll come back again. Thanks all for watching. I do appreciate the view. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.